Oh my gosh, I am so unprepared. Why, hello. Oh man. Yeah. Hello. I didn't just walk into the desk about 90 seconds ago.
Speak up or leave me be.
Speak up or leave me be. Well, that's not very nice. How's it going, everybody? Hello, and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LOTROstream, youtube.com/LordofTheRings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. I am running into the office quite late today. I apologize. You're just going to have to bear with me. Yeah. What can I say? You're just going to have to bear with me. I have been busy. Very, very busy. I was also at a concert last night, so I got into the office just a little bit late. I went to see John Carpenter, the film director, who's also a musician. You know, he did a lot of the music for his own stuff. And I went to a concert at Royale in downtown Boston last night. So, very not LOTRO related, but that is why I'm late today. Plus, we're really kind of cruising along in the office. We got a lot going on right now, both on the Lord of the Rings side and the other game side. You know, next week, a little holiday called Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Nazgul Friday. Anyway, so there we go. We are working on getting sales for next week. We will have that complete list of what's all on sale and what have you. It looks like it's going to be, per usual, we're kind of pulling out all the stops, and that should go live Wednesday afternoon, run through Monday. In addition, we do have our regular weekly sales. Quick programming note at the top. I am not taking a break from eating tofurkey to do Court of the Rings next Thursday, so I will see you in two weeks. Something like that. Hope you do have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the US or other country that celebrates Thanksgiving. So there you go. So King Asha, I can't really deal with a chat ban live on the air here, but reach out to us on Twitter or have your friend reach out to us on Twitter and I can take a look at it. It is likely that if someone you know was banned from Twitch chat, it was for a reason. But we can take a look at it. So yeah, that's basically what we have going on. We have got raid testing underway with on Bull Roarer. That should be set to go live next month on the live servers. We have got, like I said, the Dark Friday sales underway in terms of planning and that sort of thing. We've been reading your feedback regarding Ash and all that sort of thing. And then finally, the producer's letter. We have got a final draft that has been circulated and approved by the team. Severlin is going to do a little bit of rewording just to kind of put it into his own voice. That should be going out for translation today. And assuming that comes back within about 2 to 3 business days, it should be set to go out next week. Maybe, hopefully, before the Thanksgiving break, depending on how quickly we get that stuff back. So we are real close on the producer's letter, and having obviously read it / wrote, helped write it, it's looking pretty good. We're going to be talking a lot about kind of what you can expect explicitly, at least on the big beats in 2018, along with some good teases and a couple of new things that you don't know about. So nothing I can really talk about today, because clearly we didn't spend, a week or so putting together the producer's letter just to have me spill all the beans on the air today. But that should be coming, like I said, hopefully. If we get it out for translation today, hopefully we'll get it back Monday, and we can get that out either Monday, Tuesday. Could be Tuesday, could be Wednesday. Depends how long it takes our fine translators to do their translating. So, I have to admit, not a lot of big news today, because it's all incoming, like the sales and the producer's letter. My understanding is we do have a bull roar going up this weekend. That'll be hopefully a more polished version of the raid. I know that we've got, at this point, really just one of the bosses was in really a good state. So, oh yeah, good point. Druid's Fire. I will not be here next Thursday, but Druid's Fire is going to be streaming in my time slot here. So, if you are cooking turkey and you want something on in the background, or if you're post-turkey eating, or if you just want to hang out, or if you're at work, or whatever, you can stop by here at noon next Thursday, and Druid's Fire will be entertaining you. I myself have got my tofurkey dinner ready to go. I'm picking up my son this weekend, so I get to spend Thanksgiving with him. We'll be having fun. Probably playing lots of Minecraft, because he is 6 and likes that game. And then eating tofurkey and mashed potatoes and all the good stuff there, making pumpkin pie, chocolate chip cookies. Should be a fun time. I am on Landreval. I think today I'm just going to I really want to hit 40 so I can do a little bit of re-gearing and that sort of thing. So I'm probably just going to kill some stuff, just putz around a little bit today. With next update, creeps can buy black keys? I believe so. And let me actually call up something here. I may be able to provide direct information about that, because I put together the 21.3 release notes this week as well. Or at least, first draft of them. Alright, where is that? 21, patch 3 release notes. And we aren't actually at code freeze yet, so these notes will be added to before it's all said and done. But I took a first pass on that sort of thing. I think I saw something about... No, I'm not seeing it. Let me see if I can find it. So I'm not seeing it in the release notes, but my understanding is that we are looking to get that done, so it probably just hasn't been checked in yet. But I do believe, yes, we should have an issue of... correct the issue where creeps can't buy black keys. He didn't receive a reply from Twitter. He did this 2 weeks ago, still no reply. Well, I could check our Twitter and make sure that it got sent. I don't recall seeing any Twitter messages on it, but I'll take a look. Is it true the staircase handrails in Moria are taller than dwarves? That's kind of funny. Are we also going to be working on the bug in Court of Saragost where the last boss suddenly resets? Correct. So here's what I have checked in so far. I don't think I can actually... Let me see if I can actually call that page up. I bet I'm not going to be able to because it's protected, but let me see. No, it's not going to let me because of gating. But I can read it out loud. Here's what we have for the Court of Saragoth so far. The first door will be able to be opened in combat to prevent players from getting stuck inside. That door will remain locked during the boss fights. Also, the Black Numenorian Slayer deed will indicate how many need to be defeated. All bosses in Tier 2 Dungeons of Nerband and Court of Saragoth will have an increased chance of dropping incomparable gear. With Dungeons of Nerband, a new chest is being added for players who make it out of the Dungeons of Flame. Thraknul's Chains of Malice attack will include an induction and different effect icon, sort of give you a better sense of a tell for when that Chains of Malice is happening. Damage done by the anti-healing debuffs is being reduced. Fewer non-boss mobs will spawn between the first and second boss fights. I got a spelling error there. Additionally, area of effect damage from Thraknul and the Flame Spirits has been reduced. Additional voiceover and dialogue text is being added to the major boss attacks, and dialogue text has been added to the Orc and Uruk mobs for some of their attacks. Again, that's about telling. Thraknul is now more resistant... God, my spelling is terrible. Thraknul is now more resistant to unintentionally resetting when being kited, and the door to Thraknul's area will now reset more reliably when the fight resets. And like I say, we may have a few other things that sneak in here as well, because it's not actually, we don't have a release candidate or anything. We're still doing active development on it. Are the forums and website down? Yeah. Good question. So right before I got onto the stream today, I sent a ticket in to our customer or our network operations because we're having an issue, it looks like, where the HTTP to HTTPS redirects are not working correctly. That's manifesting in login issues and accessing the dev tracker. I haven't, I literally sent it in about 3 minutes before going live. It was part of the reason I was rushing into the show here today. So I don't know. Alright, so there we go. You can't even get to the website at all right now? Well, it could be that they've taken it down for while they look into some things. At least from inside the office here, though. So, for some reason I'm noticing it says www.lotro.com/en?. If you get rid of that question mark, you should be able to get into the website. And as I just did. But clearly we have some stuff we need to work on. That is being worked on. Yeah, I noticed too that like I say, it looks like we have an HTTP to HTTPS redirect issue going on right now. And that would explain why the news feed on the launcher is also down, because that's linked to the same thing. Alright, actually I had a couple of things in my inventory I could check. I saw I had a couple of things I could use. I don't need a guide to harvest math. Definitely need my pretzel. I had a couple of items I need to deal with, but I'm not going to do that right now. Maythoms. There we go. Switch into the waistcoat there. Switch into the mitts. Switch into that. Get rid of that. Alright, I guess I'm just going to call it there for now. I've got a loot box there, mysterious door, and some other things. So I guess that should give me enough inventory to deal with that. Like I said, I need to actually, once I hit 40, I've got a bunch of things to actually take care of here as well. Let me actually see what I have going on. So it looks like rampaging beasts is something that I could quickly do here along with these scavengers. I'll need to check in to see. And then the Arctic Hunters. Talk to Vigor. So Snowbeasts and relic fragments. That sounds good. We'll take care of that. And yes, I have got a cosmetic pretzel equipped because that is my sense of humor. I am known to the Matham house. Yay. And like I say, I don't want to start getting into gear issues now. Do I think Mordor will become available for LOTRO points before update 22? I can't really talk about that, sorry. At this point, I think I am legally obligated to just direct you to the fact, but stay tuned. There's a Snowbeast. Let me switch back to my damage dissonant stance. I really prefer the dissonant stance in general, but I know that it doesn't work for when I'm in a party. Let me actually check my audio too. I don't know about you, but it's showing up very loud for me. Not too bad. Okay. Any idea how Christopher Tolkien resigning from the estate could affect LOTRO? Clearly that news was pretty big for us too. When we read about it today, or yesterday. I guess I can't really issue any kind of official statement about that, but overall I don't think it's going to make too huge a difference to what we do. You know, we kind of already have our licensing through Saul's Ants and all that sort of thing. I don't know. It's interesting, but overall, I wouldn't expect it to have a huge impact on really our day-to-day operations, because we try to be pretty accurate to Tolkien book lore, as hopefully we succeed at. And that's about all I can really say. I don't expect it to have a real huge impact. I can tell you, none of us are involved in that Amazon thing, so, you know, it was all, we were watching it just like everyone else, like, oh, wow, interesting, I wonder where that's going to be. None of us have any inside info. Or if they do, they're not telling the rest of the team. Does it give us a possibility of creating a lonely mountain area for the game? No, it doesn't directly impact our ability to select source material. You know, our source material is based on the 3 books, and to some extent The Hobbit, I guess. So, in terms of kind of what we have access to, it has virtually no change there. So Ashigaru, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I got into the whole discussion about Ash of Gorgoroth and all that last week. I talked, if I remember talking, I think it was like 20 minutes or so about it. So I don't know how much I really feel like rehashing all that stuff, but if you guys really want me to, I can. Am I a popular meme among the players community? Okay. Yes, we really want you to. Okay, so let me try to remember what I said last week. I'm just collecting my thoughts here. So the main thing with the Ash of Gorgoroth is it's not meant to be a primary acquisition method for gear. That it became a primary acquisition method rather than running the instance is largely on us due to not implementing it according to our own design documents. In a couple of different ways. The primary one being we should never have allowed ashable gear to drop from landscape mobs. That's number 1. And number 2, we should never have gone live with the system without having a cap in place on it. And the reason why these caps are there is to manage the economy of the item. So for example, without a cap in place and by having it landscape farmed the way that it has been, we're in an unfortunate situation where when the raid goes live with 21.3, a not insignificant number of people are just going to not run the raid because they're just going to get the gear from the Ash vendor and call it done. There are going to be some items in the raid that you cannot get from the Ash vendor, some various types of things. So you are going to have to run the raid to get everything. But the intention of the Ash farming is, you know, as was stated really when the system debuted, is it is a safety net. The intention is that, you know, for the most part, you get instance items from running the instances and you get raid items from running the raid. But because there is a certain amount of random number generation, you know, loot luck, as it were, involved in that, we created a system for Mordor with this Ash, where eventually, even if you had the worst luck in the world, you would be able to acquire this stuff through, because you'll be making incremental progress from the Ash of Gorgoroth system, from running the instances. But, you know, clearly we failed in that we allowed it to happen from landscape mob drops, despite our own internal design document saying never do this. So we've got into a situation where, like, well, if we don't start controlling the acquisition rate of these things, then it's going to very quickly become an unusable economy in the very near future. You know, we cannot price things adequately if we've got a certain amount of people who, let's say the average, let's just say, and I don't actually have the numbers in front of me, but let's say the average player's got 1,000 ash, except for 20% of the population that's got 100,000 ash, because they've been farming it and or botting it, but also just farming it legit. When it comes time to set these prices, we have to set them exceptionally high. You get this like exponential growth of inflation where instead of items costing 400 ash, they're going to have to cost 40,000 ash. And that's unsustainable for a fairly large section of the population who hasn't been engaging in whatever kind of farming has been going on. So that's the idea of a cap, is it allows you to control the cost of the things available for the items that you would get through the Asha-Gorgoroth system. So at this point, we're really trying to figure out how we can continue to use the Asha-Gorgoroth system long term. And so that is the intention of putting the cap in place. However, since we're basically trying to fix things after the fact, we can't set a more realistic cap because we don't want people to feel bad. So instead we're really just putting a very high cap in place. So most people are not going to be impacted by the cap because they just don't have that much. And those who do have that much because they've done the farming, you know, and what have you, those folks will not lose anything. The items that they have will just, the amount of stuff they have will just stay what it is, but they won't be able to acquire more until they clear out their, get below the current cap. So that's the intention of how we're trying to address the system. You know, the other option would be to simply just stop using Asha-Gorgoroth and create a new thing. It's like a, I don't know, kind of like Ash of what have you, you know? So, anyway, that's the long and short of it. Because most of it's on us, but we need to figure out what to do with this system if we're going to continue to use it. And we wanted to continue to use it for the raid. So one of the things we're doing, and I don't know that this is going to get done in time for Thanksgiving, just because frankly everyone's got a huge amount of work and stuff going on. But the intention is we're going to try to release better expectation of what you can expect from the Ash system, from loot boxes, and from running the content. We want to put that on the forum somewhere, probably one of the threads that people are talking about, the Asha-Gorgoroth system here, so that people can get a better understanding of what the actual plan is for this thing, and then have something that they can measure against to make sure that we live up to that promise long term. Alright. How is someone entering Mordor supposed to get enough light for Lingris? The gear you get going into Lingris should be enough to get you started, and then when you're there, you'll get the gear that way from running the challenge, running the content. Dum 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 dum. Then remove the incomparable gear from the Ash Vendor, or like crafting gear, make the gear that drops in landscape unable to turn into ash. That is the plan, is to landscape drops should never be able to be ashable. Flat out. And that is the intention. Yes, you will still be able to get ash through Doomsfold crafted gear. Yeah, I think currently right now on Bullroar the ash cap is, or will be, I think it's 10,000 is what we've settled on so far. You should be able to, well, actually, the terminology is confusing me a little bit, but we are going to be having a thing where you'll get shards for your keys from the dailies more consistently. So right now we have this weird setup where you get like 3 keys for every 5 dailies, which means like 2 of the dailies just don't give you much anything. And instead we're going to be converting that to a consistent shard rate. So the total number of keys you get for free from running the content will not change, but you're not going to run into a situation where you just don't get any of the stuff you need because only some of the dailies, but not all, give you the keys. There's a question, you know, feedback, not so much question, but feedback about getting enough light gear to be able to run the content to get the light gear. That's a little beyond my ability to speak to. I think the intention is you should be able to at least get started on the content with the gear you get leading up to that content. And if that's not the case, then, you know, we'll have to do some further work on it. Alright, I got my Snowbeasts. I got my Scavengers. I'm gonna go talk to the Arctic Hunter guy. Dev diaries. We do have one more dev diary incoming. That also needs to be sent out for translation, but I kind of am holding off on that because I want to get the producer's letter back first. But we do have another dev diary that's in the works as well. That just needs to get localized and then published. So what about the dev's letter? Is it going to be released next week or question mark? That is the intention, is to hopefully get it out before the break next week. I'm going to be sending it out for translation today. Sev wants to take one last pass on it to make sure that the wording is kind of as he prefers, and kind of, you know, make sure it's kind of the way he wants it to look. Oh my gosh. Oh no! Dang it. Alright, there we go. Let's see. Let me head back to chat here. When are High Elves going to be in the LOTRO store? At this point, all I can do is direct you to the FAQ and then tell you to stay tuned. Would it be possible to introduce some level 110 gear recipes with enough light to be able to quest in the later Mordor regions, now that those landscape drops won't be there anymore? I'll have to take a look at that and talk to the team about it. I mean, like I said, the intention is using the gear you get heading into an area, or by starting the area, or by running the book, that leads you into that area. You should have enough gear to get started on the system. It's not necessarily intended that heading into an area you have all the gear you'll ever need in an area, but it should at least be enough to get you started, and if that's not the case, then we'll have to take a look at it. The issue is as follows. Some of the pieces are obtainable exclusively with ash, and currently there is no viable way to acquire ash. To obtain the ash for the pieces, you would have to farm the same instance for dozens of hours for one single piece. That is why we are lowering the difficulty of the instances, increasing the loot available from the instances, and retooling sort of the drop rates on that sort of thing. So I hear you that it's going to be extra work than it is just sort of sitting there farming landscape mobs, but that they should not be being acquired that quickly to begin with. In terms of some pieces obtainable exclusively with ash, typically the items are not generally exclusive if they are required, but sometimes we will have, some items that are exclusive there. For the most part, the stuff you get with ash should be similar to, but not exact to, the stuff that you can earn outside of the ash system. But there are some pieces that are specific to the ash system, and so I hear ya. But ultimately, if you want the item, you have to do the work. I know that that's not a popular thing to say, but that is the intention. Can I talk about class balance? It's an ongoing thing that we're working on. The person who made the question basically said various classes will, quote, not be able to do the raid. I'm inferring here, being less than ideal, affecting the raid release. I don't know if that's true. I think most people should be able to run the raid, at least on tier 1. But yes, we know that we have class balance work that needs to be done. I talk about that every single week, so just look that up. But, Bjorning needs work, and a bunch of others need work, and we're working to get them in the same general kind of cloud. It's a long-term effort, and it never ends. Because as soon as you get close to balance, the game changes enough that you need to redo it again. If all this was in the plan, who decided to make a Ash account bound rather than... I assume you mean BOA is bind on acquire? So that was really a direct reflection of the community asking for it. And when that change was made, it kind of opened up a can of worms where the people who designed the system were like, wait a second, what's going on? And then as we were working for ash planning for the raid items, it became clear that we had made some mistakes that needed to be course corrected. So that is why we're in the situation we're in now. I'm sorry, Vicordius, if you feel the class balance is so imbalanced that you can't play the game. Will we be keeping the drop rate of light gear from the loot boxes the same? I believe so. I have not heard of any intention to change that. I passed along a suggestion to have gold silver signets changed to be account bound versus character bound. It's in the hands of other people at this point. I am specifically, Ashigaru, I am not saying that questing will give you enough light to get by until you can get to the content. What I am saying is that you should be able to complete the content, at least get started on the early parts of that content, provided you are at the proper level with the gear you acquire going into that region. It may be you will not have enough light, and the intention is you earn enough light through questing in the content. Okay, let's see. If we don't want people to get the gear on day one from Ash, why is there a new set of armor better than the one that we have on live at the moment? People will just trade this gear to run the raid. Understood. That's on us. Hello, Yilly. Jumping up and down for the stream. Fabiano, I'm sorry if I'm coming across as tired or bored. That's not actually the case. I'm a little tired because I was at a concert last night. But
Greetings.
no, I'm not bored.
What do you need?
Okay. So there's that. Those are both Gloin's Camp. The other one's in Rivendell. Let's see if I can get to Gloin's Camp.
Well met.
There we go. Yeah, you want to hear about the Flora's Lava item I saw mentioned in the Bull Roarer notes. Yeah, that's going to be a new item for kin houses. You're going to be able to get a way to play the Flora's Lava in your kin house with 21.3. It's pretty rad.
What do you need? Will you lend me your ear?
Might we reasonably expect a hotfix before the raid to fix the promised issues with Saragost and Nairband? No. Frankly, all of our development time is focused on getting that raid stuff out, getting 21.3 out. So what we will be seeing is that work on Saragost and Nairband will be in 21.3, and that is also the update that's going to include the raid. But we're working to get it out literally as quickly as we can, so, you know. Hopefully it'll be out pretty soon. Okay. Ooh, that guy looks kind of rough. I'm going for bears, not other things. There we go, there's a bear. There's a bear. There's a lot of bears. Holy moly. Do you think you need to make drop rates more catered toward casual play rather than hardcore play for the game to stay relevant? No. What that means will change based on sort of who you're talking to in that. But I think if you make all the good loot too easy to obtain, you actually go against that purpose you're talking about. Where if basically a casual player can very quickly get all the good stuff, then you don't really have any hardcore players anymore. So what you really want to try to do is provide a mix so that as many people as possible are happy with the various drop rates of things. No, sorry, Helga, it's not possible to, at least as I understanding it, it's not possible to block someone personally from chat in Twitch. I know that that's been requested, but that's really a Twitch thing. Oh, maybe there's a way? I don't know. Yep. People are asking about more skirmishes. I don't know that... We were talking about that for 2018, but I don't quite know what the plans are in terms of offering that will be. It's possible that we'll have something skirmish-like in 2018. Any plans to bring a new hobby into the game? That comes up a lot. Unfortunately, I have not heard of any plans to do a new hobby, but that would be fun. Okay. Any plans to update graphics in the starter zones? No. Who do I think would win between a really big spider and a bear? Probably a bear. Bears are real strong. They could probably crush a spider pretty easily. Unless the spider had some kind of fast-acting poison. That might cause trouble. But otherwise, I'm going for the bear. You can ignore a user, but you can't block them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on which spider you're talking about. Right, I have a feeling Shelob would, well, I agree, Shelob would probably destroy any old bear.
How can I be of
But,
service?
there you go. Alright, choose. Well, that looks pretty good. There we go. Hello, Klein.
Welcome. You have come at a most fortuitous time.
Well, ain't that awesome?
What do you want?
Was it high crag? Yeah, high crag. Okay.
What do you want?
Can I confirm if the Gorgoroth loot boxes dropping raid gear and offhand items is working as intended as last seen on Bullroar? Yes. It is true that some of that gear, but not all of the gear, and not all of the gear with set bonuses is available for in the loot boxes as well. So in general, the answer is yes, but the gear is slightly lower, or if equal, is not upgradable like the other stuff is. And there's a bunch of stuff in the raid that flat out is not available. Any plans to redesign, update the GUI? Yes and no.
What do you need?
I think we actually relatively soon may see a little bit of work on that front, but a complete top-to-bottom overhaul is probably quite some time off. I do not believe the 64-bit client will be applicable to the Mac. Sorry. When is 21.3 coming? Good question. As soon as we can get it out. We don't have an ETA to announce at this time. It'll be next month. That's the plan anyway. Alright. Wow, people are trying. This is like the fourth or fifth time someone's asked me about when Mortar will be available for LOTRO points. I can't really say. All I can really say is that we have got. All I can really say is what is listed in the official FAQ. Let me head up there. Why not? Stay tuned for more information. Lariana, I'm not quite sure what you mean. It sounds like you're saying that there may be some clipping issues with character models during fights, and that's something that we would need to look into for sure. I don't think we're going to get flying mounts anytime soon. Sorry. Never say never, but probably not. It's one of those things where it'd be cool, but I'm not sure how we would work that in. Because, I mean, the eagles would not be mounts. They control, you know, they make their own decisions. They're not gonna... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, I guess. Well, I can't imagine us ever doing something like an eagle mount, because eagles aren't mounts. Not in the lore. They're too independent for that. Now, flying war goats. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, the 64-bit client remains absolutely in our planning. You know, we have someone working on it, and provided that person doesn't run into blocking issues, which they have not so far, it is absolutely our intention to release a 64-bit client. That frankly has always been the case. Ah! Stop hitting me with rocks, you Snowbeast hurler. Living up to your name. Uh-oh. Oh no! Too many snow beasts. Oh Jesus, I better get it. See if I can get it. I need to get out of here. Too many snow beasts. They are going to crush me. I think I'm going to end the stream on a total wipe. No! They want my pretzel. That's what they want. Alright. Jill 5, I do not believe we have any further instances planned for this Mordor expansion. We're going to be moving on after the raid here to update 22 and beyond. Let's see, we're about 1 o'clock here, so let me kind of look to wrap things up. Let me see if I got any final questions I should answer. You know, I do officially work, you know, for Standing Stone Games, so I appreciate the feedback on sort of other companies and other games that may have just been released and some of their loot box controversies and things like that, but I can't really speak to that. That just would not be appropriate. Sorry. Who made that pretzel? Someone gave it to me as a cosmetic. I believe Druid's Fire did. I don't know how I get it. Stay tuned, like I said, in terms of, I'm seeing some suggestions about, hey, can we get? Stay tuned for that producer's letter. We do have more information coming about our plans for 2018. Like I said, that should hopefully go out for localization today, and hopefully get published first half of next week. That's the plan. If it doesn't happen, I apologize. That is our intention, is to try to get it out before the Thanksgiving holiday. And let me see just real quick what we have on our promo for the weekend here. A 25% skirmish boost goes into effect. I believe it's today, right? You could find that on the event schedule there. And like I say, we do have a full week schedule going out today. We've got our Black Friday through Cyber Monday stuff that'll be happening, published most likely next Wednesday afternoon. That'll go through Monday. And then we do have a regular weekly sale as well that we'll be doing next week as well. So a lot of kind of sales information, things like that to look forward to. A dev diary in the near future, the producer's letter in the near future, and 21.3 in the near future as well. Quick reminder again, I will not be here next Thursday, but Druid's Fire will be in my space. So if you are here next Thursday at noon, you can say hello to her for that. Otherwise, I will see you in 2 weeks for more Court of the Rings on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you follow us on Twitch, you'll be notified from when we go live with shows like this. Subscribe on YouTube to get these videos in your subscription feed, and like us on Facebook to get both our Facebook Live videos along with all the other stuff that we post on LOTRO. Hope you're having fun. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of the LOTRO community, and I will talk to you again very soon. See ya.